Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Boost! Peekaboo. I see you because I'm YouTube famous now. Shimmy, shimmy. Available in the fall of 2022. The album launch. Cover Lover. The tour with Gabby Hanna. Opening act. The best comedian in LA. Deaf Noodles. Dad. AF. Rock on gold dust. Woman. Beast. How are you guys doing today? Oh my God. Okay. Before we get into this video, well, I have several announcements to make, but the first one is I'm really nervous about making this video, and I'll tell you why. I'm nervous for the fact that I'm not sure if clips of this video are going to show up on Deaf Noodles' Twitter thread with the world's most engagement of any Twitter thread in the world. So I'm like, I hope I look good. Do I look okay today? I'm like, I hope I look good so that when he takes my clips and puts them on his thread over there, that I look okay. Because that's what happened over the weekend. And I'm going to talk about that in just a second. But the other announcement that I have to make is that I want y'all to know that I've been working really hard for the last month. And that I built a comedy club in my house. No, I did. True story. I know it's hard to believe, but I built a comedy club, okay? And by building a comedy club, what I mean is that I went to the grocery store yesterday and I bought these 2 new plants, okay? Because my plants were dying. So I bought this cactus. And that's going to kind of give us the desert feel of, you know, Los Angeles. And then I bought this plant right here, okay? And so there's new plants, and it's kind of like new guests at the comedy show, see? So welcome to Peter's Comedy Show. I hope that you enjoy it. But anyway, today we're going to talk about Deaf Noodles and how Deaf Noodles came for me. Okay, it was really funny, actually, to me. People started tweeting this to me, and they're like, did you see that Deaf Noodles subtweeted you? And I was like, no, I didn't see this. And so I went over, and what was so funny about this was the mass support on Deaf Noodles' Twitter, where he posted about me, the mass support for me. So first of all, I just want to say thank you to everybody that said, what we're not going to do is come for Peter Monn. I appreciated that so much. I felt so loved. I never knew that I was going to feel so loved in a roast by Deaf Noodles, if that's what it was supposed to be, a roast. I don't know. But I do want to talk about this tweet that he put out in a second. First, second, third? No. I want to talk about that in a second. But before I do, there's kind of like 2 important things that I want to talk about that he has addressed. One, I think, today, and the other a couple days ago. So, because they're more serious things, and then we'll get to the fun. We'll get to the SHI toots and giggles here in a second, okay? But the first, the corny of it all, because I've been accused of being real corny. I never said I wasn't, okay? I mean, I think anybody that's watched me for a long time, I think I've even called myself corny before. But anyway, I feel like that's kind of a term of endearment. Honestly, I like being called corny. So anyway, I mean, corny is better than being the worst comedian in the world, right? At least if you're corny, you kind of got a few jokes like, hey. So anyway, because that's what he called me, corny. Mad corny, actually. But anyway, the first thing I wanted to address was the fact that Deaf Noodles got banned from Twitch. Now, apparently, this is a temporary ban, and it's because he was, like, live streaming his comedy show. I put that in parentheses because I don't know at this point what it was, okay? It just was a bunch of people standing on stage. Are you from Detroit? I mean, it was so cringe and so embarrassing, but you can go watch my last 2 videos because, to be honest with you, in all sincerity, put the lasso truth of Wonder Woman around me. I, honest to God, never thought that I would make 3, let alone 1 Deaf Noodles videos. But here we are, okay? He poked the bear, and you know what you do when you poke the bear? You get the bear, okay? And here you go. So you're getting the bear today. So, and somebody tweeted out, actually, they commented on my video, and they said, hold on a second, I thought this was so sweet. They said, I personally would love to hear the shadier side of Peter. I think we all need that. So stay tuned, because today you're going to get that a little bit. But anyway, this part isn't. This part is more serious. So in his comedy show, there was a comedian, and she stood on stage, and she shouted out the F slur, right? If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's the F slur that I have heard many times in my life, okay? Many times in my life. So that was supposedly why he got banned on Twitch. And he's saying that it's because all of these people were contacting Twitch and telling Twitch that, you know, this happened on there and whatever. So he comes out and he says, now I'm not going to say her name, she can stay anonymous for all this, the comedian so-and-so who made the joke. Okay, so this is what happened. Somebody tweeted out, I mean, you organized a show you planned on streaming online. You could have reminded people not to use slurs. If Tate gets banned on Facebook and IG, and now TikTok permanently, for violating their rules, Twitch can suspend you for violating the rules. Maybe stop blaming others for your actions, okay? Well, he retweets this and he says, the comedian, so-and-so, who made the joke that got me banned is gay. If gay comedians get punished for making jokes about themselves, then it's clearly a targeted attempt to silence them. I think the broader conversation should be about how LGBT comedians are being silenced. And that might be true. I actually follow a lot of LGBT comedians that have gotten their start since TikTok and things like that, that don't find the need to fall back on using derogatory slurs. And I'm not really sure what's funny about that. I definitely don't think it's funny just to yell it off of a stage. I don't find it funny, and I'm not sure if you know this, Dennis, because I don't think that you identify as part of the LGBT community, so I'm not really sure why you're trying to educate the LGBT community on being part of the LGBT community. It's really not your place, okay? But just so you know, there is homophobia that exists within the LGBT community, all right? And I'm not down with anybody in the LGBT community yelling that slur at me, whether it's on a stage, in a Twitch stream, or where else. I don't think that's cute. Now, there are a lot of people that believe that that's taking that term back and they're having power over it, and that's their business, okay? But don't be yelling that from me from a stage. And furthermore, to me, this is really not so much about her as it is that he didn't set appropriate boundaries for his own show, number one. And number two, he is trying to educate the LGBT community on what is okay and what is not okay about, and wanting to have a broader conversation about this. Who are you wanting to have a broader conversation with this about? Because I don't think you're the person to be initiating this conversation. I really don't, okay? I think if there are members of the LGBT community that want to have this conversation, I think that's their place 100%. But I think maybe this is one where you need to bow out, okay? This is one where you just need to take the L and say, I got banned from Twitch. In the future, I'll have some boundaries. Maybe I'll have a contract that my comedians sign, because that would be professional if you want to have a professional comic show. You know, maybe I'll ask them not to use certain terms and things like that. But don't come out here and try to educate somebody that has literally lived their entire life having those slurs slung at them, okay? And when you go over and you read the thread on Twitter where he posted this, there are a lot of people that are part of the LGBT community that are like, Dennis, this is not cool, okay? Like, seriously, what is going on here that you can't just... And this is where it's not just about you're not a comedian, okay? Or your content isn't doing well, or what is going on with your channel. This is where overall, anything... you literally are unteachable. You cannot take any criticism whatsoever and learn from it and just say, yeah, that was really a bad move. Like, that was really not cool that happened, right? And I don't support that, you know? I just don't think that that's cool at all, period. That's all you had to say. The other thing I thought was interesting was, I was looking through his Twitter today, and we're going to get to this in a second because I was going to talk about his memes here in a second. But I was looking through his Twitter today, and he tweeted this thing out, this meme, and he said, it's a meme of a roast with his face on it, okay? And he said, we're live talking about my Twitch ban and respond, I don't have my reading glasses on even though I'm holding them in my hands, responding to the backlash from the roast, okay? Well, when you go underneath here, I didn't watch it. I'm done watching 2 hours of Dennis spout out how smart he is about the world and the world of comedy, okay? He doesn't know anything about comedy. If he did, that show would have gone off without a hitch. That show is a complete disaster. You're the last person to be educating anybody about comedy. And instead of tweeting out in defense of your friendship with Ethan Klein. Had you actually watched my entire video, what you would know, Dennis, okay, and what your mother's mother would know, and what your mother's mothers would know, okay, is that I actually gave you some really good advice. And I said, find yourself a good mentor. Find somebody that you can follow around that actually has some comedic value and is known as a really valuable comedian and a really talented comedian. Ask them for help, you know. Ask somebody that has a comedy show or a comedy store and say, can I follow you around for 2 weeks or 3 weeks because I want to build a really good comedy show? You know, can I follow you around as a comic and you can show me what you do and how you write jokes and how you roast people? Because obviously I don't get it and I need help. That's called being mentored, okay? That's called being an apprentice. But you're above all that, aren't you? But you didn't even make it to that part of my video where I actually gave you some sincere, genuine advice because you got so hung up on the fact that I'm mad corny over the fact that you were defending your friendship with Ethan Klein. I never came for your friendship with Ethan Klein. What I came for was the fact that you kissed that man's ass left and right, and he hasn't stood up for you at all. In fact, what he has said, I have been told by other people that have listened to his podcast regularly, is that he has said he's not going to dogpile on you because you're getting a lot of crap from everybody right now, which I think is very nice, okay? But that he doesn't support anything that you're doing on Twitter right now. There you go. Take it from that man that you look up to so much, right? That's all I'm saying. Okay, so I go in here and I look at this Twitter, right? Which I found out some I look under this tweet and I find out some interesting information about these memes. He's been posting these memes left and right, okay? All these memes he's been posting. Well, at first I thought if you spend as much time, you know, writing your comedy and your roast as you did on Adobe, making up these memes, then maybe your comedy show would have gone off without a hitch, you know? I mean, if you spent as much time writing jokes as you did making these memes, maybe your jokes would be funny. I don't know. Are you from Detroit? So anyway, I go into there, and the first thing I find out is that, number one, he's stealing these memes from somebody else that's posting them. Okay, there's somebody that's apparently a troll, as he would call it, or a fake fan, and they're making these memes, and then he's just taking them and posting them on his thing, not giving any credit, not saying anything, not saying, oh, this troll is coming for me with this meme or whatever, okay? And I went and looked, and you can see on this person's account, just go underneath his latest tweet where he has the roast. You can see it all there. I don't know if they want to be shouted out, so I'm not going to shout them out. But you can see where they say underneath here, hold on a second, I screenshot it, but if you go down, it says something to the effect of, I don't care if they, you want the images I make, but you don't want what I have to say above them, right? So basically saying, I'm making these images, and you want to take the images, but you don't want to address what I'm actually saying about these things, right? Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And somebody in here says this is basically art thief, is what it is. So I don't know about all that. But what was interesting was the same exact person posted underneath here this clip of Dennis in this live stream talking about making comic jokes about SA. And I was like, oh, this is going to be really good. Let's hear what Dennis has to say in defense of all this, right? Of his history with Papa Gut and all of this stuff. Let's hear what he has to say about this, because it's like just a really short clip. And basically what he says is, there is nothing that you can't make a joke out of as long as you do it through the eyes of comedy, okay? And that he never comes for the victim. He never comes for the act. That he always kind of makes a joke about the perpetrator, right? And that's where the joke lies. Well, Dennis, I'm not sure if you know this. I don't know if you have any friends that have suffered SA, or if you actually talk to people outside of people that kiss your ass and are a bunch of yes men and tell you what you want to hear, not what you want to, what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, like I said in my video the other day, okay? But when people that are, you know, have gone through SA and they hear jokes about it or whatever, or shows, the reason why there are trigger warnings on TV shows about these kinds of things, or trigger warnings even in books, or trigger warnings anywhere, is because to hear about that, to talk about it, even in a manner of joking, is to relive the experience to a manner that is triggering for them to experience, where it feels like they're going all through it all over again. Not for every one of them, but maybe for some of them, okay? And I'm confused, just like with the LGBT situation. Why are you the person that thinks that you are the expert to be talking about making jokes about SA? I'm really unclear about this, okay? And you know, I talked about this the other day, about the show Hacks. I think it was on HBO Max. And the whole show is about Jean Smart basically turning her life experience into her comedy routine, right? Like, why is it that Dennis's comedy is all about other people's life experience, never talking? Somebody the other day said, why do you always talk about, like I had said something in my video the other day about when I was 37 years old, I had been through 2 long-term relationships. I had resigned from a 13-year career. I had my master's degree. I was sober for 15 years. People were like, there was a couple people that were like, why do you always bring that stuff up? Because it's pertinent, okay? It's pertinent when you're taking a look at, well, you know, this is all going on, and he's over here acting like he's 12 years old, and I had lived a life by then. And I'm not saying that I'm any great thing. There's a lot of people that have lived further lives than me. There are a lot of people that by the age of 25 have served their country that do not act as immature as Dennis is acting at 37 years old, okay? There are a lot of people that have been married and had kids and have been through divorces and have been through horrible tragedies in their lives and abuse that haven't acted the exact same way that Dennis is acting, not even a fourth of the way, not even an eighth of the way, right? So where is your life experience, Dennis, in the comedy that you make? That's all I'm asking, right? Like, why is it always having to take off of somebody else's comedy and then educating the world on how you make comedy out of the stories of SA? That's really not your story to tell, you know, and how to make comedy off of somebody sitting on a stage yelling out the F slur. That's really not your story to tell. That's really not yours to accept, and definitely not the apology to accept. I'm sorry, and I don't accept it. So there you go, okay? So let's get to the tweet that Dennis made about me. So Dennis put up this, this video clip of me that somebody else had posted. And it was me talking about Ethan Klein. And it was like, where I was like, and where's Ethan Klein in all of this? And blah, 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 whatever. And I was like, you know, like, why hasn't Ethan Klein come up? Now, the thing is that Dennis chose to only use part of this clip. He didn't show the whole thing. He didn't show the whole clip of me talking about this where I wasn't really coming for him at all. I just was asking, you know, like, I'm confused. Like, you have been so supportive of this man. You know, you have really, your career has been really helped out by Ethan Klein. Where is Ethan Klein in this moment, you know? And I think, like, with any career that you're in, whatever you're doing, don't you have mentors that say to you, hey, like, you need to pull it in a little bit, or like, this is not cool, or whatever. You know, and I understand Ethan Klein not wanting to maybe like dogpile on him. I think that's great. I think that's fantastic. I think that's really meaningful as a friend. I think for him to not want to say anything on Twitter or not want to make jokes about it when he could, I think it's fantastic, right? But what I don't understand is, and these conversations are not happening behind the scenes. We know that because of what people have told me about the podcast, and because Dennis isn't coming out and saying that Ethan is talking to him. In fact, he's saying the opposite. What I don't understand is why Ethan isn't reaching out to him and saying, hey, dude, like, I care about you, and like, your career is going down the drain, and you don't even seem to care about that. Like, what's going on, right? I'm just saying, as a friend, I just was questioning that. Number one. Number two, when I made that comment in the video, can we just not for 1 second act, Dennis, like I was the first person that came with that idea? I was not, okay? I was probably the 100,000th person that had come up with that idea. It was not an original idea by Peter Monn, designed and decorated, okay? It just wasn't. It wasn't cake and bake. It wasn't shake and bake and I helped. It was not an original idea. Everybody was asking, where is Ethan Klein? Why is Ethan Klein not commenting on this? It was something that I picked up and I talked about. And if you even read the thread underneath your own Twitter where you tweeted out to me, you would know that to be true, because people underneath your own Twitter were like, dude, don't come for Peter. He was just saying what other people were thinking, okay? And that's the truth. And if you don't want to hear what people are thinking, I don't know what to tell you. You know, it was interesting because he's coming across and he's saying, I don't care about followers. I don't care about likes. If people don't get my humor, if people don't understand this, if people don't understand that, then I don't really care. Don't follow me. Don't watch my videos, whatever, okay? He's literally at this point losing about 1,000 subscribers a day. He's not getting hardly any views on his videos anymore. And actually, the only videos that do well is where he's addressing this drama. So he has now turned himself into the drama, right? And a lot of people were speculating, is he trying to do like a Trisha Paytas? Is he trying to do like a Gabby Hanna? I don't think that's what he's wanting to do, because I don't think that Dennis could play that out long term where he is the drama. And quite frankly, no offense to Dennis, but I don't think he has the personality to play that out. I mean, people are kind of, even though they hate watch Trisha and they're, you know, they are weirdly obsessed with kind of the drama that surrounds it, like people are kind of interested in the life of Trisha Paytas to some degree. I don't think people are really interested in the life of Deaf Noodles, because he really hasn't shown that much of the life of Deaf Noodles. So what's interesting to me is if he becomes the drama, he's going to have to hype it up a little bit more than people talking about things online, right? Okay, so I caught this in his comedy show. In some part of the roast, he said something about doing a brand deal, and somebody like roasted him for it or made some joke about it, and he goes, well, I have one tomorrow, so I'll deal with that then. And he was making like a joke about this brand deal. And I was like, is he joking about having a brand deal? Because, you know, if you want to sit there and say, I don't care how many followers I have, I don't care about basically my algorithm, I don't care if I get likes and views on my videos, well, those are the things that people care about when they're giving you brand deals. The first thing they ask you is, what's your algorithm, who are your followers, how many views do you, those are the things that people ask you, and that's what you get paid based on, right? You get paid a brand sponsorship based on how many subscribers you have, how many views per video you get. You could have 10,000 subscribers but get 200,000 views on every video, and you would get paid more than somebody that has 1 million subscribers that gets 20,000 views a video, right? So all of that stuff matters. So if your channel is dwindling, your brand deals are going to be dwindling too. So I was like, how can he say this? He must be joking, right? No, I went over there on that Catherine McBroom video, you know, the video that he's not going to do because he's changing up his content on his channel, so he's not going to follow YouTubers anymore. That one, that video, that was called a roast. But so you would maybe not know that if you're a fan of Deaf Noodles, because y'all are kissing his butt so much that you're telling him he's a great comedian when he's not, and he doesn't know how to roast anybody, but you're probably from Detroit. So anyway, so I'm sitting there, and I go into this Catherine McBroom video, right? And I'm watching it, and true enough, it's a brand deal for some game that I've never heard of before. And I'm like, I can't believe this. Like, you want to say you don't care about this, but you're doing a brand deal. So you obviously do care about the likes and the views and the subscribers, because those are the things that are going to continue to get you the brand deals, right? So anyway, he tweets out this video of me, right? Hold on a second, let me get to it. He tweets it out, or this person tweeted it, and then he tweets it out, and he says, this is the corniest SHI toot. Yes, I'm friends with Ethan, but we're independent people. We're independent people. Don't question that. I do not represent his podcast, and I can fight my battles. Attack me all you want, but leave my friends alone. They have nothing to do with any of your dramatic BS. Mad corny. Leave my friends alone. Stop being mean to Ethan. I can fight my battles on my own, Mom. You're mad corny. Whatever, girl. Wake up and grow up, okay? Let me just tell you something. Mad corny. I could care less. I think I am mad corny. I think I'm more mad corny from having read that tweet. You know what I mean? But anyway, I'm sitting there and I read this, and people were like, oh my God, Deaf Noodles, he came for you. Deaf Noodles. I'm like, girl, I don't care, okay? Of all the things he could say to me, okay, he could say things about my age. He said everything else about other people's ages. He could say stuff about me flipping a fan or putting on lip gloss or my voice, which somebody did in his comment section. Listen, okay? So people that want to come for my voice, this is what I love about it, right? I was ate up with hating my voice for so long, all right? I paid so much attention to people making fun of my voice for so long. There was like one comment and somebody's like, his voice is so nauseating. So anyway, I used to get comments on my videos and people would be like, his voice causes my ears to have cancer, okay? So anyway, YouTube and me being on YouTube has really helped me fall in love with my voice, because when I watch my videos back, I hear my voice exactly how it is. I mean, I can't run from it. I can't hide from it. I can't act like it's not my voice, right? And then when I do my vlog every night, there are people over there that on a regular basis are like, I fall asleep to your voice. I love your voice, you know, whatever. And it's made me look at my voice in a completely different way, right? And I had to kind of like walk into that. And I had to walk into the comments where people were saying, hey, you're being too hard on yourself and all this kind of stuff, right? And that's all I'm asking from you, Dennis, is for you to be open to the people that care enough about you that are telling you the truth about your situation, okay? You want to be a comedian? That's completely fine. Just don't act like you're the world's best comedian in the entire world. Be open to the fact that maybe you could learn from certain situations. Be open to the fact that maybe you could grow and be a better comedian than you are today, instead of acting like you right now have the end all of everything and you know everything about what's going on, right? But anyway, what would I know? I'm mad corny. So anyway, somebody commented and said, shaking my head, show the whole clip. This man didn't say anything negative about you. It's just you went in on just about anybody for H3, and now Ethan is sitting here saying he doesn't respect or support what you have been doing. And that's exactly it, okay? You didn't show the whole clip. You showed what you wanted to show, which is bad commentary, first of all. You would criticize other people for doing that, and you wanted to show that. I don't really care. Show 2 seconds of it and make me look like a fool. Make me look mad corny. I don't really care. I don't. I know I'm mad corny. It's part of my gig, okay? Listen, I have a drama phone. I flip fans. Can you do that? I can flip a fan better than you can tell a joke, okay? I mean, let's just be for real. So it's whatever. Then he goes into this whole thing about, I was watching his first video the day back, and he talks about how his roast was such a success, okay? Even though today he posted a video addressing more allegations. He keeps on calling criticisms allegations, which is interesting to me in a situation where you make jokes about SA, which those are actually serious allegations, and then you want to talk about allegations that are actually criticisms, right? And it's like in your head, you're like mixed up about what these words mean, but I mean, you want to educate people on all of these different words and like parasocial, and you want to use the word parasocial 15 times in a video. Although I will say, since he's been called out about using the word parasocial, he hasn't really used that word as much, which is interesting to me. So that must be the one thing that he did here. But I actually looked up the word success because I wanted to see what the Webster's definition of success was. My camera stopped at 30 minutes, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to do the definition of success for you guys, okay? Since maybe you don't know the definition of success. I don't know, okay? Anyway, the definition of success, I know Def Noodles doesn't know the definition of success because clearly, if you watch his videos, especially the video the next day of where he was, I don't know, meeting the Ninja Turtles or something, I was so confused. I was like, what is going on? But he says that it was a really successful event. Okay, so let's see what the definition of success is. By Merriam-Webster. Okay, the accomplishment of an aim or purpose. Now, I don't know what the aim or purpose was, if it was to fit 8 audience members and 4 comedians on stage at any given time. You did. Congratulations. You accomplished that. I'm so proud of you. I hope that your landlord is proud of you as well. And but I will say, if you, in the future, okay, because there's going to be a future, I was going to say rap battle. There's going to be a dance battle. Now, I'm not a comedy roaster, but listen, I'll do a dance battle all day long, okay? Don't think y'all can't come for, ow, I hit my face. Don't think you can't come for this one, okay? Listen, I'll dance battle. Dennis, you want a dance battle? I'm there, okay? I'm there. Anyway, Dennis, if you want to borrow my plants, my house plants, to make your comedy club a little cozier, just call and ask me. Call me on the phone. I'll send them out there. I'll FX them. I'll FX them. I'll FedEx them to you, okay? And I think it'll probably make it a little bit more of an enjoyable experience. At least there might be more air and there's a little bit more oxygen and CO2 for your audience members, since they have to wait so long for the event to even start. Anyway, what I loved most about this definition is that when you use it in a sentence, the sentence that they use it in is that there is a thin line between success and failure. And I actually can't think of a better way to use this definition of success than in discussing the comedy roast of Def Noodles, okay? As well as the tweet that he made about me being mad corny. That there is a thin line between success and failure. Unfortunately, I think you fell over the line into failure. I think you don't realize that. I think you need to pick up the ground and smell it, okay? Because it smells like turds. Anyway, I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.